Good afternoon. Today what I'm trying to do is to put this idea of a Taoism, which is a very, very vast subject, on a YouTube in a nice, simple, straightforward, small chunks. So, because I've been in practice for 30 years, next week would be my 30th year in practice. I thought I'd put my knowledge, my understanding, my experience on YouTube, so for everybody to see and sort of put in little small chunks, small sections, maybe like a little chapter in a book, so maybe 8 or 9 slides per little chapter. So it's just nice and easy to digest, because sometimes when you look up the internet, it can be a bit too heavy. When you talk about the Taoism, it can get too esoteric, too heavy. So I'm trying to make it simple. So please bear with me, be patient with me. I'll make mistakes, and hopefully I'll try to rectify my mistakes. But if you have any comments, put on on the YouTube comments, and I'm trying to reply to the comment via camera. So instead of writing back, I'll try to write back as well, but I'll try to sort of do it via speaking and put it in a camera. And I'm learning more technology, so my knowledge, my understanding is evolving, and I'm learning more and more. So be patient with me, and hopefully I will learn from this as much as anyone else. So this is my journey and my legacy. Thank you. Now, what is Taoism? Your Taoism, is it a philosophy? Is it a philosophy? Is it a religion? What is this? Basically, Taoism or Taoism is a philosophy. It's not a religion. It's a way of thinking, and a way of learning, and a way of understanding things, and a way of doing things. It is not, for me, Taoism isn't like you have to do these rituals, you have to do these things, you must do these things. There are certain rituals, but nothing, as far as I know, heavy stuff. So it's a philosophy. What I'm trying to do is to put a philosophy of Taoism on the table, and you might sort of come to me and say, I don't accept this, it's all rubbish, and I say fine. Or you might say, yeah, I'll take some of it, and that's okay. So it is not, for me, and with my experience and my understanding and my work with patients and students, I'll put this on the table, in this case on YouTube, for everybody to see and make comments. And if I made a mistake, please forgive me, I'll learn from it, and it's evolving. So this philosophy of Taoism is about evolution, revolution, and understanding, and rectifying things, and going with it, and be at peace with things. So hopefully I can pass it on and see what happens. Thank you. Let's just to begin with, give you a very, very brief history very, very brief, of what's been happening. What have we got so far in our evolution, in our revolution, in our understanding of our humanity, our human beings, where we're going, what's happening. Very, very briefly, I'll sort of try to describe it in each little slides. Since man's appearance on this planet, some people say 3 million years ago, evolution. By man, I mean human beings on this planet. Man has always been looking for the answer. Where are we going? What are we doing? Who are we? What's happening? What is health? What is disease? I personally don't call it disease. I call it dis-ease, which means lack of ease. So you have ease and dis-ease. So man has always been thinking about this, contemplating. So over centuries and millennium of contemplation, meditation, education, observation, experimentation, two views have developed. The two views are, one is the vitalistic view, and the other one is the materialistic view. The materialistic view, which is, I call it the yang, is this view, and then the vitalistic view, I call it the yin, and I explain as I go through about the sort of details, in more details, each views. The material view of the universe, which is the yang view, has got its roots in the from the Renaissance period. Renaissance basically means rebirth. From roughly about 14th, 15th century, there was a great rebirth of the scientific view of life, of the universe, sort of a understanding from a mechanical viewpoint about the life, about the universe, about how the world works, about nature, about the human body. So from the about 14th, 15th century, this view, the scientific view, the mechanical view, start growing, becoming more and more and more prevalent, more and more dominant. And it reached its sort of is kind of understanding in the 17th century by Sir Isaac Newton and René Descartes. These two men saw the universe, the body, everything in a mechanical, yang, ordered form, that everything can be written down in a mathematical formula. There is an order to everything. So the same thing was the same idea was developed with the human understanding of health and disease, that the body is a machine and you can just look at the parts, analyze the parts, dissect it logically, clearly, evidence-based. And if the part was infected and it wasn't working, you either repair that part or you would replace it. So this scientific view from the Renaissance period still is very, very dominant in our everyday culture, in our everyday view, in our scientific view, in our medical view. It's a dominant force. So what they thought was, I think, which is in the head, therefore I am. So it was that sort of a mechanical view, an idea. Sorry, I'm going to switch this off. On the other hand, the vitalistic view, which of the universe, that there is this energy, that this force that permeates everything, that heats everything, that makes everything alive and moves everything, and it controls that energy flow. So this force is the yin. So in the materialistic view, we had the yang, and there's the other view, which is the yin. So in this view is, you feel it from your heart, from your yin, from your center. So their idea was, I feel, therefore I am. So that view was that has got different names for it. One name for this was this universal intelligence, this universal energy, this universal part of emotions that will permeate and heat everything and warms everything up. You can call it the universal God, the universal energy. So that was the other view. In Taoism, we believe that both views are correct. The Yang view, which is a mechanical view, and the Yin view, which is this energetic view. So both the brain is a machine and energy, emotion, feelings. The heart is a pump, and also it's energy, feelings. So for an organ to work, for something to work, both sides are valid. The Daoist physicians or Daoist philosophers not only sort of thought the brain, they knew about the brain being a machine, a robot, a mechanical part, and an energy, but also they knew all about other organs, like the kidneys, the liver, the heart, the spleen, the stomach, the three heated. Every part of the body has got this duality, a yang duality, a mechanical duality, and an energetic duality, energetic part. So when you put the two together, the yang and the yin, you create life. So the scientific view nowadays is been very dominant mechanic. Everything has to be based on knowledge and facts. It's all factual. You've got to learn facts, which is okay. But also, that has become very dominant and has pushed this idea, this yin, this energy, this to the side. It's made it recessive. So this become very dominant. And gradually, what I'm hoping in the future, that's one of the reasons that I put this idea on the YouTube, is to promote this idea of this duality. So gradually push this idea forward. So in the future, these two will harmonize. And what the Daoist said 3,000 years ago, that is, you got to accept both. Once you put the yang and yin together, we create energy. We create holistic knowledge, holistic understanding of life. The Western medicine or the Western science, I'm a scientist myself, I'm a Western scientist, I've studied Western sciences, but also studied this side as well. But I didn't do a weekend part-time course, I did this properly. So the scientific view now realizes there is this side, and sometimes to get to this side, they're just trying to do it quickly. For example, in acupuncture, which works on this duality of yin and yang, we're going to talk about that later, they do very short part-time courses in acupuncture. The GPs, physios, osteopath, chiropractors, nurses, they do a 2-weekend course in quick fix acupuncture, dry needling. So because they've reached a understanding this side that yes, there is an energy side, but because the society is very yanged up, a very quick fix, they're trying to do a quick fix solution here, and that doesn't work. One of the things about Taoism is patience and learning it slowly, steady, which we'll talk about it later. So I'm hoping that gradually there will be an understanding between the yin and the yang properly. As a Taoist physician, I'm hoping this will happen. So this will come forward and balances and becomes holistic. So what the Daoist said 3,000 years earlier, the scientific world and the medical world is gradually coming to the same realization. In Taoism, we believe we live in a world of duality. There are two worlds that we live in. One world is the physical world, the world that we can see, the world we can touch, the world we can analyze and dissect and observe with microscope, with with a telescope. But underneath this world is the yin world, which the world of that we can't see. It's a feeling, it's energy. It's something that, let's say, scientists call dark matter or dark energy. So the two worlds are interconnected, but there is a degree of separation between the two, but they're all interconnected. So the energy world, the yin world, actually supports this. So what we touch, what we feel, what we see is actually has got another side to it, which is the energy. And they look separate when we look at them, but they're actually interconnected. So it's that energy world that supports the physical world. And we talk about that more and more and more as we come to the structure of the atom and quantum mechanics and the astronomy and the planets. So, but remember there is this duality of two worlds together, and they look separate, but they coexist together. It's like a building that what we see on the surface, on the top, above the ground, is the actual physical building, but it's the foundation that holds the building up. So that's the foundation, the yin, the energy that holds the yang up. And the yang feeds the yin. So they all work together as a unit, as a holistic unit.